What if we took all the classic Assassin's Creed gameplay, made it play worse and look ugly? Welcome to Assassin's Creed Nexus, AC's first and last venture into VR. On paper a really good idea, but unfortunately this is a Ubisoft product. Does VR save Nexus from the modern Ubisoft curse? I suppose I should start off saying I used to be a big AC fan. I played them all as they came out until Shadows, which is where I gave up on the series. I prefer the old games back when they had a soul, but I guess some part of me still cares about AC, at least enough to check out this VR outing. You play as a hacker who's been hired by Abstergo to go through memories to find pieces of Eden, but you are secretly working for the Brotherhood to make sure the new MacGuffin doesn't fall into Templar hands, so it is in fact an AC plot. It's nothing you haven't seen before in this series. Deadpool's girlfriend, yes that actress, is the main villain and she's performed fine. She just isn't very interesting, a typical Templar. Humans need to be controlled, free will is bad. She's repeating stuff they've been saying since the first game. Sean and Rebecca are back as your Brotherhood contacts, and they act like Sean and Rebecca. It's nice to see them as always, but I still don't care about them much. Seeing them reminds me that this series' story needed to end with Desmond. The present day story is not bad, it's just boring. Newcomers won't care, and this doesn't seem like it'll have any impact on any other AC games. The ending was cool, but that's just because something interesting finally happened. But like most AC games, people aren't here for the present day, they're here for the past. You'll go on all new adventures with fan favourite assassins Ezio and Connor. Also Cassandra has levels. The story in these levels aren't amazing. It's simply these assassins going on a side adventure, which is fine for a VR spin-off. Might even be enough for some people. Playing as Ezio in Venice with Roger Craig Smith doing the voice again was a real treat. Yes, it is just nostalgia, but maybe I'm entitled to feel something. It has been long enough since this series has been great, so anything that reminds you of the good old days must count for something, right? God, this series is almost 20 years old. The free playable assassin story doesn't intersect at all. There was a big missed opportunity of having all of them looking for the same artifact across different time periods. They play with this in one of Ezio's levels where he's looking for the Staff of Hermes, Cassandra's weapon, but then it turns out to be a fake, which left me disappointed. Just spitballing ideas here, have Cassandra show up to help because she is immortal. Anything would be more interesting than what we got. The story we have now feels like a waste of time. Ezio's home gets attacked again like it did in Brotherhood, which this game takes place after. Ezio stopped buying stores and buy some defences. He then has to go get his revenge. Connor must hunt down some Templars, that's it, nothing else happens. This takes place before Connor meets Haytham for the first time, so it's not even like we're seeing more of Connor's story. Do you want to know what happened between Sequence 5 and 6 and AC3? No? Too bad. We could have had an old man Connor hunting down Templars, but we get a side mission so important that no one brings it up in AC3. Cassandra's story matches your game well. It feels like a side mission you do to level up in Odyssey, and not much else. I largely blanked out on her story. Ezio's story was my favourite out of the three, but that probably has to do with the levels having the most cameos. Leonardo da Vinci is back, which made me smile way more than it should have. It's like seeing a long lost brother. Connor's story tries to match his energy by having Achilles show up. It did not land the same. There is no reason why these three were chosen for this game. Ezio because he's the most popular, makes sense. Connor because they need a Kenway, and if they had Edward they'd have to do naval stuff, which would have clearly been outside the budget. Then Cassandra because she is a woman. Not Evie because she has a grapple hook and would ruin the parkour. I think I put more thought into this than they did. The three assassins played the exact same as each other, which was the biggest letdown for me. I know it's VR and I was expecting them to play drastically differently to each other, but to play the exact same is insulting. You start off as Ezio with a sword and his hidden blades. Next you play as Connor who has a bow added. This is where I was like, okay, Connor's going to be more of the range guy to make them feel different. Then you play as Cassandra who also has a bow. I guess Connor and Cassandra are the same. Then Ezio gets a crossbow in his next level, so they're all the same. Very disappointing. It's little things they could have changed. When I think of Ezio I think of his gun in his hidden blade. They could have had that for him only. Or for Connor give him his rope darts. Cassandra should have stood out the most, she has so many powers in Odyssey. Just give her one like the Spartan kick, it would have helped add to the variety. Cassandra also has a hidden blade which sent me into a frenzy. She never had one because the Brotherhood didn't exist yet in her game. Odyssey had a whole DLC about the first ever hidden blade. Cassandra didn't get it at the end of that DLC. She should not have one here, it shows how little they cared. They do tell you she only has one hidden blade because that's more in line with the lore. Dual hidden blades didn't exist till Ezio made it a thing. She should not have one, let alone two, but we need all the characters to play the same, so she needs one. Why have three different characters if they're all going to play the same? Which brings us to the gameplay, something I put off for long enough. This is the perfect franchise for VR, and they still messed it up. It's mediocre at best. It does try to play like the old AC games but is missing key features and feels off to play. We will start with the climbing. This was my second VR game I had played, which led me to being impressed with the climbing. Now I have played some more titles, I have soured on it. This is how every VR game does climbing. You grab and pull yourself up. It works and can be fun. It captures the old AC climbing where you had to figure out a route up, instead of being able to climb like Spider-Man. You have to look for handholds and it is immersive. You can even fling yourself further if you pull yourself and let go. Climbing is simple and does not evolve at all. Once you have climbed one building, you've climbed them all. I feel like the games they chose didn't help with this. Odyssey and 3 are quite small buildings. Only when playing as Ezio will you feel the height. It's great when it happens, but it can only happen for a third of the game potentially. Maybe they chose these games for the parkour potential, which I could see. They are fun places to run through with lots of quick ways to get up to the roofs. It is a shame then the parkour is just bland. You hold A and auto jump between gaps. I don't really know what I was expecting, that's how it works in the other games as well. It is more underwhelming in VR. The parkour feels limited, you aren't going to pull off any stylish moves, just jump and fail to grab onto ledges. Maybe the climbing and parkour wasn't meant to be the focus. Maybe it's on how you use it in the stealth counters. They sucked. The AI is brain dead, which leads to the stealth feeling boring. The first few times where you flick out your wrist, a blade comes out, and then you stab in the back of the guard is awesome. Then you find out how easy it is to sprint up to a guard with your blade out and walk into them. This is the optimal strategy. Guards take so long to notice you or a dead body. Throwable knives are as OP as ever. You could stand on a roof and take out everyone at range if you wanted to. The stealth can be fun, but only if you choose to do it properly, which you'll want to do to avoid the combat. It's ass. Combat tries to mimic classic AC counters, but it's slow, clunky, and easily broken by just flailing your arms like an idiot. Yes, they block a lot of your attacks, but some will get through. What I like to do is swing one arm all over the place, with my other hand keep a hidden blade drawn, then mash A, which charged me into an enemy, leaving them open for an insta-kill with the blade. No, it wasn't very fun and became monotonous, but it was way quicker than waiting to counter. You can split AC games into parkour, stealth and combat. Unfortunately for Nexus, I didn't enjoy any aspect too much. The climb was probably the best for me, but it was very basic. I might have enjoyed the game more if it wasn't so buggy. Character models clip all the time, lip syncing is trash, and I had an annoying bug where guards would still be on alert after restarting a checkpoint. This happened multiple times. I feel like I'll say this in every VR video I do, but Arkham Shadows might have ruined this for me. That game felt like a Batman game, but just so happens to be in VR. Nexus feels like what an AC game in VR has to feel like. No eagle vision is a big miss. How do you come up with first person AC and not have eagle vision? When we sync at a viewpoint, we don't get the iconic circle around, we just pull out onto the map. It doesn't feel like it was made by AC fans, it feels like we were forced to make it. Hey, at least the original voice actors still got it. Ultimately, I was not very impressed with AC Nexus. The only thing I truly enjoyed was all the fan service, like having Ezio back in Venice, being his charming self. Everything else was a miss for me. The story was boring and the gameplay was uninspired. Another modern Ubisoft product. It failed to live up to the VR potential. I can only recommend this for die-hard AC fans. Even then I wouldn't tell them to get a headset just for this. Time to rank it. This is nice, I normally have to think a lot longer at this part. I'm fear number 80. At the very least I had some fun with Suicide Squad's gameplay, so it's below that. But it's above RE Outbreak because I didn't get anywhere near as angry as playing this as I did playing that game. I'd rather be bored than angry, I guess. New number 80. Ubisoft finally made Assassin's Creed in VR, and somehow it feels less immersive than the games that came out 15 years ago.